Thank you so much for watching Landumc Goes There. Please subscribe and hit the like button and the bell notification button. A Kiss Before Dying is a 1956 film noir that's directed by Gerd Oswald in his directorial debut. The screenplay was written by Lawrence Roman and is based on Ira Levine's 1953 novel of the same name. The movie stars Robert Wagner, Jeffrey Hunter, Virginia Leith, Joanne Woodward, and Mary Astor. The storyline goes that Stoddard University students Bud Corliss and Dorothy Kingship are secretly dating, they not having told anyone for fear of working-class Bud not being accepted by Dorothy's hypercritical father, wealthy businessman Leo Kingship, who is the owner of Kingship Mines. Mr. Kingship's hard and critical nature led to he divorcing his wife solely for a mistake on her part years earlier, and this has led to a strained relationship with both Dorothy and her sister Ellen. But even calling her Dory instead of Dorothy is one thing she loves about him, in that it distinguishes him from anything in her past. Bud has a strong desire to get out of his working class situation and become involved in real money. The relationship hits a major bump when Dory informs him that she's pregnant with his child. Dory wants to get married immediately because she feels they love each other. But Bud feels that this unexpected pregnancy might lead to an interference with him becoming involved with her father. He wouldn't like it at all. Without any viable option that Dory would agree to, Bud ends up with the idea of murdering her. While he seems committed to killing her, what happens is affected by Mr. Kingship in his relationship with Dorothy and Ellen. Ellen is falling under the spell of the man herself, and Gordon Grant, Dory's math tutor, who has another part-time job, which makes him naturally questioning and real suspicious about everything. The film rights to the novel were won in a bidding war among several studios in August of 1953 by Darryl Zanuck. He was head of 20th Century Fox at the time. It was announced that the studio contract player, Robert Wagner, would star in the film, and that Martin Milner would play Dwight Powell. Milner had to bow out due to a scheduling conflict. In 1955, Zanuck assigned the product to Crown Productions and to producer Robert Jacks, who was his son-in-law. Wagner, Joanne Woodward, and Jeffrey Hunter were borrowed from 20th Century Fox for the movie. Now, Joanne Woodward didn't like this film at all, and I have to admit her performance is not some of the best I've seen from her, but she went on to call the film one of the worst Hollywood movies ever made. I don't see it that way at all. This is a nail-biter from the very start of the film to the very end. When you watch it, you find so many differences than you would see in a film today. You see a woman drinking when she's pregnant and also smoking, things that were fairly normal for the mid-1950s. The producers also had to fight the production code office because at that time, you couldn't say the word pregnant in a film. In some of the versions that you see nowadays, it will be deleted. But in others, like on Amazon Prime, you'll hear the word used. In the movie, Bud Corliss, played by Robert Wagner, meets his end when a truck knocks him over a cliff and kills him. The character suffers a far more gruesome death in the novel when he slips and falls into a vat of molten copper. As you watch this film nowadays, it really rings an odd bell with you because of Robert Wagner and his relationship that he had with his wife, Natalie Wood, and her untimely death that a lot of people suspect him of being involved in. The entire plot of the movie is his character trying to do away with people that don't fit into his needs. Whether he had anything to do with Natalie Wood's death, I don't know, but it sure does seem odd when you watch the film. You see Mary Astor in a role in a film for the very first time in 7 years. The last one she had done was Any Number Can Play from 1949. She had been doing some television work and guest starring in roles during this time. The film was shot in and around Tucson, Arizona, and its surrounding areas. All this included the copper mine scenes that were south of town. The Kingship Mansion in the film is still a viable place in Tucson. It was originally the El Dorado Guest Lodge, which was kind of a dude ranch for many rich people, where they would go and live out their cowboy fantasies and pleasures. It's now a place called the Mountain Oyster Club. At the time in 1949, when it opened up as the El Dorado Lodge, it could house up to 80 guests, and the estate originally consisted of 318 acres. Now, Jeffrey Hunter plays Gordon Grant in the movie. He's a big-time star from the 50s and has a really unbelievable screen presence in any film that he's in. But while he was in Spain in November of 1968, shooting a film called Cry Chicago, which was a story about the Chicago Mafia, he was injured on the set in an explosion when a car window near him, which had been rigged to explode outward, accidentally exploded inward. He sustained a really bad concussion, and on the way back to the United States after filming, he couldn't speak. He really could barely move. After landing in LA, he was taken to Good Samaritan Hospital, but doctors couldn't find anything really seriously wrong with him at the time, other than he had a concussion and he had a slightly displaced vertebra in his neck. On May 26, 1969, Hunter suffered an intracranial hemorrhage while walking downstairs in his home in Van Nuys, California. He fell and knocked over a planter and struck his head on the banister, fracturing his skull. He was taken to Valley Presbyterian Hospital, where he underwent brain surgery, but he died about 9:30 the following morning at age 42. He does an exceptional job in this film, and I think you'll enjoy seeing it with him in it. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll continue to chase the classics.